Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome to my office. This is I'm live from my shed, which I have to tell you about at some point. Um, Hello everybody. Hello, Paul Eno. Hello, Vin, Becca, Floaf, Tuesday, Zach, Jake, Insulin Invader. Don't know your actual name. But welcome in. Uh I'm gonna crack open this Olipop, and let me know that I sound good and everything looks according. Oh, I have to go live on Instagram. Going live. I can. If I can. Should be. Oh, I am live. Well, all right. Does it show that I'm live? Not quite. Not on Instagram. Um, yeah, this place is cool. Ready, Shetty. Oh, I know how to get live on Instagram. I do. Um, Let me do this real quick. Yep. And please bear with me while I go live on Instagram. It'll just be a second. Okay. While I'm doing this, let me know how you're doing. What did everyone eat for dinner, if anything? Or maybe you're eating right now, perhaps. There we go. Blam. Boom. And I think, yeah, I like the one strand. I actually thought about it. I thought about that little strand of hair on my bun. I did think about it. All right. I'm live on Instagram now, which is great. So, why are we here? Well, let me take a sip here. Shark Week. Okay. Tonight at midnight, uh, my new album, Goodbyenary Code, is coming out. Hello, everyone on Instagram, too. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to the whole album in order from top to bottom. And before each song, or I guess maybe after each song, depends. I'm just going to give you some commentary on kind of how the song came to be and get sipped. And how the song came to be and how I made it and just anything that comes to mind. Thank you, Ricky. Can you pre-save it? No, but it'll be on all the streaming services at midnight. Hello, 7071 Dan Gold. So I think we're just gonna get right into the first song. And to be clear, this stream situation is new to me, so I'm playing with a lot of this stuff on the fly, but we'll make it happen. All right, so this first song on the album, the opening song is called Child Learns. And I wrote this in college. Um, I remember I made the drum. I made the start of it in college with, oh, maybe everything's in the, well, they're over here, but I'm tethered to the headphones. Maybe I'll grab some gear along the way and show it off. But I made it with a 505 drum machine and a Korg Monotron is how it started, and that's still how it starts in the actual recording here. I made it kind of at my desk with my shitty little laptop, and I remember when I originally recorded the vocals, um, my friend, who shall not be named, but he is known in this lore as Snore Captain, was nearby, and what's up, my homie, my liege, um, and I remember it was one of the one times ever where I was recording vocals and somebody was actually within earshot of it, honestly. and that was kinda weird. It was like the vulnerability of that was strange. On the original recording of this, Snore Captain sneezed at the very end, and we kept it in the recording, but for this new recording, I did not have him here to sneeze on the record, unfortunately. And that take had since, somehow, um, been deleted, so I couldn't even, like, keep it in the song because it had been erased somehow. Um, so I'm gonna play that song. It's called "Child Learns," and, please feel free to leave your comments as we go along. I may show some on the screen here, and we can talk about it all. All right, here we go. Song number 1 of Goodbyenary Code, "Child Learns."
Just take care of me. Not caring that my brain was all cracked. Now I'm just a splintered one, shelved laid down on the rack. Now I'm just a splintered one, shelved and laid down on the rack. A splintered one, shelved and laid down on the rack.
All right, still getting used to the, ye old video streaming setup. Um, thank you guys for listening. Thank you all for listening, should I say. Um, yes, so Paul says, "Is that from the new album? I absolutely have heard it before." So, this is actually a good segue. This is something I should have said at the top. Goodbyenary Code is an album I wrote when I was 19, which, gonna date myself, was 14 years ago. And I wrote it and I demoed it at what I called at the time finishing the entire album. I would now call demoing it. And um I released that album on Bandcamp, but not on streaming, and the people listening were my 10 friends at the time, pretty much, and I tried to get my, name out there, I guess somewhat successfully in different ways, but the point is, this album did exist, and through the years, I did show it off. I did refer back to it. I did email my fans about it from time to time, but it was not a thing where, um, you know, it was not a thing where it really ever saw the light of day in a real way. So this year, it, this album kind of had stuck with me ever since I made it. I always thought it was a really good album, and I thought it was something very true to myself. Um, and so this year, I always knew I was going to record it again. I knew I was going to re-record it and release it, or do something like update it, remix it, remaster it. In this case, re-record it, remix and master it. I knew I was going to at some point. And this year, the timing worked out, and I re-recorded that album from scratch. Nearly, I might point out some situations where that wasn't the case. Um, and I've been releasing it all year in singles, and tomorrow it comes out. The whole album actually comes out. So, all right, that was Child Learns. All of that was re-recorded from scratch. It's kind of interesting. I originally had actual trumpets on that song from my friend Tim O'Brien. He's in New York. I could have, I guess, accessed him, and there's a million trumpet players in Nashville, but I ended up going with this synth that I can't show you because it's in an inconvenient spot. But using the trumpet patch on that, this unit is from like 99, and it has a particular kind of fakeness to it that's still passable, and I like that prepubescence of that synth. Honestly, it's almost to the point of being convincing, but it's still kind of fake. So yeah, that was Child Learns. That's a song, I think, maybe one of my best written songs. That's a song that I love to play on acoustic guitar. It's very playable in that way. Piano. It's just a very playable song. It's a very singable song. And I think the metaphors are simple, and I think the meanings are simple and true. Yeah, there is an acoustic take from this time period, that maybe I'll show at some point. Well, you know what? Let's do a couple more, and then we'll take a break and I'll show that acoustic video too for Child Learns. Let's move on to the next song, which is called Bookworm/Flowery, and we'll play that and we'll talk about it. So here we go. Cue up that damn windmill.
popping tiny shoes that echo wild, that echo wild. But you don't stop for me. Just keep walking slowly and surely.
All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, really. Yeah, I got that dog in me. So here's the thing about that dog sound. It's not a dog sound. It's it's the sound of I mean you won't be able to hear it, but I guess maybe you will. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's the sound of fingers sliding across bass guitar strings. And the thing is when you have a heavily distorted signal, that sound obviously gets pretty insane sounding. It gets really pronounced. And when I was recording the bass in the original version, the bass line's like and when you slide I had to keep sliding my hand up to the higher frets, and one time it was and that little sound with the distortion was so good. It was such a good sample that I like kept repeating it. And that sound that was recorded in 12, I brought into this newer recording too. So that was cool. I liked that. This one, I always liked this. It's funny you said that, Becca. Becca said this. Becca said this. Like, it feels as though I'm driving home after a great first date. That's kind of what the song. It's a little bit early to this process, but it's like the feeling of having a crush on someone was going on with this song. I was like hyper fixated on this girl in college, and I like had a crush on her from a distance. And I didn't even really meet her. I did meet her once. Never had any actual real interaction, but I just every time I saw her, I was just like so aware of her being around, and I was just interested in. And I was just perpetually nervous to get to know her, try to meet her, and so I was just always on the fringes. And this song is that feeling of being like, "Who is that person? What could happen? What's the future? Like, are we ever gonna? If I'm gonna know what she like?" And just yeah, just mushy, just mush. And that's what that song's about. And the sort of arc of this album, it's all very much about trying to get over this specific person I had dated when I was in high school. And there's a lot that goes into that, but that first song, Child Learns, was sort of about like here are all the ways. Yeah, it's kind of an overture lyrically, in the sense that it's saying here's what life with you is like, I guess. And it's twinged with sadness and kind of being like, that is that is it's tinged with this sadness that implies like something went wrong. And you're kind of talking in the past tense, but it's not flat out saying like we're over, we're broken up. It's just a reminiscing kind of song. This song is reminiscing. Well, it's not reminiscing. It's kind of hoping forward, but there's a energy of reminiscence. Like, oh, this is a person I'm so excited about. I feel like I already know them. I feel like they're this old flame or something. Um, and so you have a little bit of looking back, a little bit of looking forward, and you can the sonic stage that I was trying to set was like this very uh in the sky, the clouds, the sun. It just felt exhilarating and like limitless. For the holiday, basic winter. Oh my God, never, never, maybe. So yeah, that's the deal with that song. I'm gonna do. Let's move on right to the next one. Keep it moving. I'm kind of thinking like I'm playing live. I don't want to leave the energy too low. So hello everybody that's watching. Mick, Frank Villy, the real genuine for real archives. That was one person's Instagram handle. Anyway, let's do the next song. This next song is called Kid Would Kill. Cue up that damn windmill.
It's because you're yet to see into the way you cut your food. And it's because you're yet to be the person that you thought you should. It's because the blankets that you need
All right. Thank you so very much. I gotta turn off this loop button, don't I? Oh, there's the button. I just turned it off. Thank you for all thank you for all of the love and listening so intently. Very fun to be a part of that. That song, Kid Would Kill, one of my favorite songs I've ever written, I would say. That is another one that I love playing on acoustic guitar. It's a very playable song in that regard. Um, I think for me that's a pretty good I think that for me that's a pretty good test of how good a song is. And that's funny for me to say because I don't think most of my songs are playable. It's not a mutually exclusive thing. I think if that's true of a song, chances are it's a well-written song. Um, and I don't have many of them, I feel. So they also feel like more particular when they happen. But that song, man, I wrote it on this drum pad called the Yamaha DD6, I think. Yes. I wonder if I could share my screen. Surely I could, right? Surely I could. What's okay. I wonder what's possible. Hmm. All right. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Anyway, it's a Yamaha DD6-6 if you're interested. It's a very simplistic drum pad. It's like not even a serious instrument. It's like pretty silly, honestly. Yeah, DDs exactly. Um, and I wrote that drum part on it. And yeah, I also remember I had a microKORG, and that crazy opening synth was a setting I made on the microKORG, and it was just this fun thing to play. I was playing on all white keys in C major, and then I transposed it to G sharp just to have it in a different key because it was fun to do it on the white keys, I guess. And that felt like the spirit of this album, and I was like, that riff, whatever you want to call it, is like gonna be a song. It was clear to me. And that guitar solo was, I wanted it to sound frenetic and also like childish. I wanted it to sound like bratty, like it didn't it needed to get what it wanted, you know? So like insanely fast, like reckless abandon kind of speed of it was interesting to me. It was also just the song is so like sugar rush the whole song. Um that it just felt like keeping that energy up, and it was a sort of a natural response to the instrumental was like wanting to play really fast. And that take was super good, and that take on this album I kept from the old one. I took 30 takes of trying to replay it now, and I could have done it, and I probably had a couple takes that I was just being hypercritical of, but when I put the old one on, I was like, "Why am I resisting this?" This was such a particular sound of the whole album, that solo, so, um, I kept it going for this one. And Basic Winter is real. It's a real EP I made that very few people have, and it's pretty garbage to me. It's pretty bad. Anyhow, let's move on, and then maybe we'll take a minute to do some other stuff. All right. Let's see. Let's cue up that damn windmill. Hey, cue up that damn windmill, Janet. Peace. Welcome back. Thank you for listening. That song was called Study. Oh man. Yeah, you guys really responded to that. Um that was an instrumental song, and clearly it has sort of an interlude vibe. Um and so like with it being that way at the time, I was like, "Oh, it's nice." I love that track for sure, but at the time I was like, "This is, not the main enchilada, and people are gonna scroll past this one," you know? Um, and but it seems like this time around people really liked it, which I thought was interesting. Everyone's nailing Stardew Valley, RPG soundtrack, um, life sim game, town merchant vibes in an RPG, cartoony tugboat through a small Animal Crossing town, building a sandcastle on the beach. Like, I'm buying I'm buying wares with it. Yeah, that was sweet. That was sweet. Because that was dead on. I when I straight up my idea going into making that song was, let's make a song that would play in any like random house in an RPG. Like, you know how Ocarina of Time has that song. It's like that kind of world. Um, yeah, Traverse Town. More to that vibe for sure. Um, yeah, that was the idea, and I had this. I wish I could share my screen, dude. I wish I could share my screen. Surely I can. How do I do it? How do I do it? So, like, if I do that, that's for people, I guess. Oh, present. Wait, I could do it. Duh. Okay, great, 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 great. Um, I'm gonna show you some of these instruments as I talk about them. Okay, sharing my screen. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay, great. So is that oh I gotta go boom. Okay, great. Um so this was the drum machine in that song. It is from the 70s, and you can't program it. So what that means is you can't make your own patterns on it. You just have you have 5 settings or 12 settings, whatever it is. And and they just have preset patterns. And that's what that drum thing was. And I just wrote a song around that, and it sounded just really soft and interesting and cozy. So I just played off of that. Um I don't have this anymore. I ended up selling it or trading it. I don't remember. So if I go like that, does it just okay, great. Yeah, and then the guitar part was just trying to embody that RPG thing. Okay, so here I'll give everyone an option. Um do we want to watch an acoustic performance of Child Learns, that first song from 2012, 2011 actually? Or do we want to move on to the next song on the album? I wonder if I took this down, but I have it on my computer. Oh, I found it. Great. Yeah, acoustic performance of Child Learns, or perhaps the next song. Oh, acoustic child. Okay, everyone's saying sorry, I was looking for things. All right, cool. Here we go. So I think this will work. Um, how might I do this? Okay. I'm getting lost in the sauce. I need to present again. Oh, a video file. Let me do that instead. That's better. Might take a while to Maybe I will go to the next um song while I upload this video because I might need to do that, but let me see what it takes first. All right, let's do that. And oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Enjoy. This is Child Learn's acoustic version done at my college in 2011. I think like, yeah, like December 2011. Here we go.
I am a starving child. I don't have much to do. I just long for the bookish one with the mountains clear in view. Once I went to her fortress with nothing but the clothes in my bag, and she would just take care of me, not caring that my brain was all cracked. Now I'm just a splintered one, shelved and lay down on the rack. Once we went through the skyline, and the clouds were filmed and flimsy through. The sun glazed every piece of grass, and it slowly turned to you. She would just take care of me, caring that my brain was all cracked, and now I'm just a splintered one, shelved and lay down the rack. And now I'm just a splintered one, shelved and lay down the rack.
Well, what do you know about that? Yeah, Jen is my friend from this time period, and that's crazy. That's insane. um, I don't even think I had met you yet. I just hadn't met you yet, as they say. Thank you guys for that. Um, thank you for the love. So that is 4 songs in. That's an acoustic. I don't know if they were, but maybe they did. Now that you say that, I wouldn't have. I feel maybe that did happen. Remember, um, we're 4 songs in. We just did the acoustic version of Child Learns. Let's move on to the next one. Keep the energy moving, and then we'll be halfway through the album. So this next song is called Mugs, and it's a pretty interesting song. It's definitely like the Ever Since You Moved of this album. like from Haha Yeah, the role that that song had, this song kind of has. Um, yeah, was trying to get this was influenced by yeah, just hip hop and beat making and playing with sense of time and just being like as gross as I wanted to be and like break all the rules kind of song. So let's hear it. Cue up that damn windmill.
You pick and preach and fill yourself up like lizards scuffling on in the rough. I'd rather take my blocks out of me and set them on the surface level with my knees. I'd climb a couple hexagonal walls for you if you know just what that would do. I'm building cricket houses in your kitchen, but nothing good dislodge that stuff from your ear. We were once a couple of mugs. We were once a couple of mugs. We were once a couple of mugs. I can see how you construct your conscience as if you had the tools to do so. I've got a pretty good head on my shoulders. I've got a toolbox full of trash if you wanna visit. Put down your animals and go for a walk. I know the terrain is jagged and rough. I'd carry you over here, there's no doubt. If you take down your electric fence. We were once a couple of mugs. We were once a couple of mugs. We were once a couple of mugs.
All right. That was track 5, Mugs. Thank you all so very much. Yeah, the maracas, those were maybe those are right here. They're not within reach, but they were egg shakers. Okay. Um, yeah. Maybe I even had a thing of rice. For a while, I just had a jar of rice, whatever you want to call it, in the studio, and I was using that for shaker stuff. And I think it might have been that plus an actual egg shaker at the time. But this time I just used egg shaker and um yeah, that beat was inspired by like baths. I don't know if you guys know baths. But, there's just this way of at the when I was kind of, like, becoming into music, a popular thing with beat, like, producer stuff was for things to be really sloppy and, like, offbeat, at least what I was listening to, and it's felt like this untouchable thing. It felt like, "Oh, you have to be super, super smart to do that right." Um, and I can, uh I can do a beat that's on time and feels kind of rigid, anyone can do that relatively easily, so this felt like the next level, and I was trying to do something like that. I really like that song. I really like the lyrics at the time when I was more of a kid were like I would be like, "Oh, these are who knows what this really means." Like, I'm kinda just throwing this out. Um, and this time around, I was really appreciating the lyrics. So before we go on to the next song, I would like to make a little announcement. This album is coming to vinyl, and some people have heard about that already, and some people have gotten theirs already. But um, it's going to become available on Friday, and I wanted to sneak it to everybody watching the live stream in case you want early access. So I wanted to just give everyone that link so we have the next 5 songs to talk about it or think about it. And, I won't take it I won't be posting it, like, when I do the live stream, I won't be sharing this link until Friday, but I'm just gonna leave the link up here. I'll find a way to do that so that you can check it out. The link I guess I can just comment it. So why don't I? And hopefully it shows up as a nice, hopefully it shows up as a nice little clickable link. Becca, you did not order a vinyl, I believe. But I put the link in the comments on YouTube, and to people on Instagram, it is basicprinter.com slash goodbyenary dash code dash vinyl. That's basicprinter.com slash goodbyenary dash code dash vinyl. I want to see how that comment showed up. I want to know if it showed up as a hyperlink. Can links even be no? Wait, no, but you can. Oh, great, and it's pinned. Amazing. No, I like it. Yeah, that's fine. That's great. I love it. Thank everyone worked together well on that. Um, it's okay. It's okay. So here, let's actually maybe this will do it. Doesn't really matter, but I just want a neater link. Actually, if we could instead pin this one. Yeah. Yeah, and if you want to snag that vinyl, it's yours. There's limited quantities of the Ultra Edition, which has a test pressing, and I've already sold half of them. So if you want that, you would have the rest of this live stream to maybe get ahead on that, and then plenty of everything else. So yeah, go there if you like, and I can pin it. Bang! All right, I did it. Oh, and now it's clickable when I pinned it on YouTube. Great. All right, let's move along. Somebody asked, "What does it mean to be a couple of mugs?" I at that time was thinking, um, you know, there it's a symbol for a somewhat literal symbol of when you're on a coffee date with somebody or at breakfast in your own house that you've someone you live with or something like that, where you're both drinking coffee at the table or whatever, and you're just in a way you and the mugs that you're using are paralleling, a deeper story of like monotony, but safety and regularity and routine and connection and just the vibes of like what that moment it typically means. And the chorus is kind of goes back to that metaphor of like, we were good. And the verses are like veering off into these sort of accusational things. And they're kind of aware that I don't really have a leg to stand on when I criticize. And kind of that vibe of like when you're in a relationship and sometimes there's understated things or like tension or resentment that builds like little at a time in different corners of your life. And there's this like, I want to tell them off mixed with I need to be like sensitive and aware of what they're going through. And that's a song that kind of, you know, deals with that feeling. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next song. And the next song is Kitten Paws and Lizard Claws. Okay. Cue up that damn windmill. All right. Thank you for listening. Another great round of comparatives. Oh, I should have gone right into 7, huh? I should have. And now I knew what that meant. I was like, Becca said this, go right into 7. And I was like, do they think that the ending is in 7/4 and you were talking about time signature? And I was like, doesn't make sense. But you meant go right into track 7 because they do go right back to back on the album. Um, yeah, I remember I wrote this song. I was talking to my friend Brandon. Uh, he was just at my house, and wow, that's so amazing. I love that. Um, he was just at my house, and we were hanging out, and I was just sitting there. I was just sitting there noodling, and we were talking about whatever. And in the middle of talking to him, I just came up with that. I don't even know if you can hear it. Super out of tune guitar. Uh, and I remember talking to him and being like, I'm gonna remember that, like saying that out loud to him. And I was like, oh, I just found that cool riff. I'm gonna take that home and do that later. I'll remember how to play it. Um, and that's how that song started. And then I just with this whole album, the sound that I was going for was so clear in my head, like what I wanted it to be. Wanted it to be this somewhat overblown, pretty loud, pretty clumsy, um, yet bodacious album. And I knew that, like, for example, Child Learn, those first 3 songs of the album are like, this is quintessentially what I'm trying to do. This is the whole album covers vibe. The sun, the speed, the height, the bigness of the sky, the whimsy and the fantasy elements of the windmill and stuff. And then it was kind of like, yeah, but you can't have an album that's just that speed and that loud and that fast all the time. And it's stuff like Study and this song to me that were like the equalizing songs for the track list. And it was like, how do you keep staying in that world but bring it more down, more slow? Um, and uh, that's kind of what that song was about. And it's a pretty simple song about, um, yeah, just being like out, like past, like a relationship is in your past, and you kind of know that you'll never reconnect, but you're wondering about you're looking back, you're reminiscing, it's kind of wistful, but there's an acceptance that nothing's gonna happen, yet you can't help but wonder and kind of leave some space for it to be a possibility in your mind and just leave that little piece hanging on, you know. Why did I remove the mask design? Kind of just to get more marketable. The mask design became, oh, why did I remove that little, specifically that emblem? I just liked the idea of the windmill being the statement. I find that like the best album covers do that. Like, not that I even have, but for example, like the EP is a great example. The cover of my EP, which will pull that up. Jamie, pull that up. Okay. This album cover. To me, this is great because it's like it's a picture. It originally said fun slide, and we photoshopped it to say basic printer, but it is a photograph. And the idea that this is convenient because it's self-titled, so it's like the oh, sorry, I need to share it. So it doubles as both the album title and the artist name, but point is, it is one. It's basically a picture of something. So I guess that's a time I did it. Good Weird, I did not do it. I had the title right there. Fantastic Wrist, obviously, I did not do it. But haha, yeah, got back. I was like, that's how album covers ought to be. They ought to be one, like no text, and it's a little piece of art in itself. So Goodbyenary Code's kind of keeping up with that vibe lately. Like Dark Side of the Moon, obviously one of the best album covers ever. And then like um in the aeroplane over the sea. One of the craziest album covers of all time. Kid A by Radiohead does have the text, but I just think these are super impactful. Anyhow, um, that's why I did that. Reminder that the vinyl is still available to thee if you want to get an early access to that. I will be telling everybody else about it on Friday, but while you're on the stream, you have that access to that link. Or obviously you can just save it and get to it whenever. Yeah, Kid A, Kid A was a hardcore album for me, of course. And yes, Maya, you do have that older shirt of mine with the pixel head that was kind of based on this like horrific mask I instead wore. Anyway, let's move on to the next song, which is called Book Beat. Give up that damn windmill.
Spineless I was, yes I was, yes I was. Timeless we were, no we weren't, no we weren't, no we weren't. And now I don't know where I am. And now you are everything. I am to blame, I have shame. This is true, my friend, but like a book I'll read to the end. You'll take a droll and stroll with no toes on your soul, and I'll just sit back here drawing on my fingers, drawing on my fingers. Kindness you had, certainly, certainly. A mess I am. Clean me up, clean me up, clean me up. And still I am covered in shit. So what? So what have I got to give? I am to blame, I have shame. This is true, my friend, but like a book I'll read to the end. You'll take a droll and stroll with no toes on your soul, and I'll just sit right here drawing on my fingers, drawing on my fingers.
Floaf was killing that for me. That was fun. I was laughing behind the behind the scenes because that killed me. I just pictured him kind of doing like modern shit, like I pictured standard issue court jester on a pirate ship, which it's like, okay, maybe same era, maybe the same time era at least, but Jester on a pirate ship, unorthodox, right? So because there was that dissonance, I was like, and he's there like doing like K-pop shit. Sad. um, cool. Thanks for listening. Yeah, that Sad Jester on the ship. Melancholic Chord Jester. Pretty goddamn good. Definitely going for some like Sergeant Pepper's perhaps vibes. Like they did some circusy shit on there. Kind of set a precedent. You got some circusy stuff in like Pink Floyd over the years. There's something about that in conceptual music where there's like a circusy one. We're gonna keep it moving. Hello to everyone on Instagram. I know I'm not addressing you as much, but your comments don't show up for me in my little dash. So I'm trying to keep up with both, but I see you all in there. Yes, happy mask vibes. And what's up, Joe? So glad you're here. Definitely happy mask. Salesman is a spirit animal for that song. Takes me back to Final Fantasy IX. Pretty good. Let's move along to the next song, which is called Brain. Here we go. Cue up that damn windmill.
They call for me, and so I come to save the rain.
Thank you all for listening to that. It's called Brain. Now, the day that I was recording the original Child Learns in 2012 with Snore Captain, that day a lot of music was happening. I recorded those vocals, I did some other stuff, and something I did while messing around with something else was come up with that synth line. That happened, when yeah, well before writing the song while writing a different song. And then it was kinda like with Kid Would Kill, I also had that opening synth line, and it just felt like those were the name tags for a lot of the songs were like, "That synth part, that goes like that and is big and in your face." And that was one of those. I appreciate everyone for being here, and, hello, Instagram. Been seeing the convo over there. 2 different worlds going on, um, which I like to see. I like to see multiple worlds happening. Alright, let's move it along. Well, okay, for Instagram, um, if you would like early access to the vinyl for this album, go to basicprinter.com. Actually, wait, I'll type it for you. It won't be clickable, but uh, you could at least see how you should type it in. Basicprinter.com/goodbyenary-code-vinyl. It's in there. Again, might not be clickable. Oh, I can pin it. I'm pinning it. Might not be clickable, but or copy and pastable, but it is typable if you remember those words. All right, let's move on to the next song. We're on track 9. It's called Problem. Cue up that damn windmill. Thank you for listening. That was Problem, the penultimate song, the second to last song on the album, which means we have one last song to go. Um, Loved all of the commentary on this. Killing it with the commentary. Trying not to burp in everyone's face. I never thought about this, Zach. Never thought about that. Because that's so real. Never thought I would ever play the song live, to be honest with you. That song, yeah, I had this old keyboard was my first wasn't my first synth, but it was the first synth that I really cared about in a big way. I had the Micro Korg before this, and I definitely loved the hell out of the Micro Korg, but the Poly 800 was the first one that I kind of really like seeked out. That's actually a circuit bent one, so that's a bad idea. This one, and it has this sequencer function, which is super useful and really easy to use. And that's that was on that. And then I ran it through my pedal board, which you can see a little bit of. And I fucked with it for 6 minutes. And then that was like the floor of the song, the carpet of the song. And then it was like, all right, what do you write over this? What layers do you add over this? It was cool. But all right, I think I think we should play the last song, and then we'll just kind of say our goodbyes and wrap it up. And I guess if you guys have some questions, you can leave them, and maybe I'll get to them after this. But that'll be an hour and a half, and I feel like that's a perfect length for this event. So let's move on to the last song, the 10th song. It's called "Goodbyenary Code." It's the title track. I hope you enjoy it. Cue up that damn windmill.
a song of painting. Turn your head back now. Turn the tide. And yes, I know you're shy, and I don't mean to pry, but can I say goodbye? Can I say goodbye?
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the whole album with me. I'm gonna put this on underneath quietly. Thanks for listening. Thanks for commenting, and all of the amazing comparisons were amazing. Sean Perry. So what I was doing with the streaming was I was doing a marketing thing basically with Spotify and being like, every time I release a single for the album, which I released 8, I almost released the whole album, but every time I would release another single, I would basically release all of the old singles with that and call it like an EP. And I did that like 8 times. And now we're finally going to do the album, and it'll just be the album on streaming with everything in it. But some people started to get confused. But thank you all so much. Yeah, that was the whole album. That was the last song, and that was the first time I mean, a lot of you do or don't know how this whole album was being released, but there was an opportunity to get the CD of the old version and the new version, and those are gone now. But that was basically the only time you would have heard that song before today. So very few people have heard that song. And it's finally going to be on streaming, which is cool. Yeah, thank you all so much. Will I ever be in the Boston area again? I would love to be. I am going to be in New York City in March. That's as close as I'm coming that time. The plan was not to get out to Boston, but yeah, exactly, Sean. That was kind of the idea. It was like eventually one of these releases, you'd be like, oh, apparently there's new music, because it's tricky out there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if anyone has any last minute questions, you can ask them and I'll answer them. Yeah, Becca, I will. I want to come to Dallas again. I want to do this. Here, I'll just talk through this. The plan in March is to play St. Louis, Kansas City, Minneapolis, Chicago. That's going to be hitting some of that again. Then we're also going to go Cincinnati, Cleveland, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, Binghamton, New York, Brooklyn, New York, Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh is the plan. And that is in motion. That's being booked, which is cool. Pretty easily. I'm pretty surprised. Yeah, Kansas City ain't bad. Kansas City ain't bad. And am I looping? Yeah, okay. And then what I would like to do, I don't know if you guys know the band Raspberry Pi. We've been talking about touring. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But the idea was to go to Florida and maybe Louisiana. I don't know. Like southeastern stuff. And in June, maybe. So I might get down to Florida, maybe Atlanta. I am playing Charlotte in the fall on November 15th. And Nashville in December. After that stuff, that's Midwest, that's up to Brooklyn, Northeast, a bunch of Midwest, South and Southeast. What I want to do next is go to Texas and do all of those. And I'm like, here, this could be fun. Let's all weigh in on this. This will be great. Sammy, did you get your Charlotte ticket? You can obviously get it whenever you like, but it helps me a lot to have a ticket sold early because the venue's kind of always like, are you selling tickets? You know? So that'd be nice. Oh, you did get them. And yeah, Florida. So let's do this. First of all, the plan is St. Louis. Bang. Kansas City. Minneapolis. Chicago. So this is going to happen March 10th. Sorry, March 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th is the plan for that. Then we're going well, I'm not going to go through all that, but I wanted to look into this. So Dallas is the first closest city from Nash. 10 hours. So maybe we can hit Memphis or something. I don't know. But we go Dallas, Fort Worth. We go Austin. And then we go, you know what? Maybe we go Houston actually first. I would love to play Des Moines this time. Yeah, so I want to basically, after doing all this, and then doing all this, and then maybe with Raspberry Pi, I do this. Like maybe like New Orleans and whatever. So I'm like, in the fall, we should go this way. And I'm thinking we go Austin, and hey, why not go to San Antonio? Just do everything in Texas. No customer is unserved with. There's so much left in Texas. But those are the main ones. Then I'm like, let's just get to Phoenix at this rate, right? And in fact, this is what I want to know. I guess Albuquerque would just get us over a little bit more. Still very far, but that's Texas for you. I'm trying to get to Las Vegas is just what I'm trying to do. So then you go Phoenix and Las Vegas. and then you just gotta drive home, which is crazy. But that's what it takes. Then you you do Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis. Can't miss St. Louis, my favorite place on earth. So let's try that. And then I will look at the comments, which are absolutely insane. Oklahoma City. We're going to Denver after that. That's crazy. But Kansas City is one of the best places to play for us. And that's just how it goes. Yeah, then you hit St. Louis and then get home to Nashville. I love it. I love it, personally. Now, Pacific Northwest, it's just so hard to get all the way out there. We can envision that for a second, too. But this is what I would like to do, because then we've done most of the country, and then the last thing would be this, which we could do. Would love to have another reason to hit Minneapolis than you do. Yes, Seattle is amazing. Do some Boise, some Salt Lake. Anyway. Yeah, I like that. We just all, we just group fund it. How about that? Yeah, I want to do Texas. I'll drag everyone I know. I would love that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to do it. I want to do Portland. Nice. Yeah, the Des Moines would be amazing as well. I want to play everywhere. So here's the thing. If we're going to get all the way out to Las Vegas, and like maybe we skip San Antonio. Okay, you know what, guys? I'm feeling crazy, dude. This will help us. Little look behind the curtain. 1 second. So these are basically where all my fans are. So let's like Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. Man, they're all great. Gotta go to Dallas. Gotta go to Houston. Might even have to go to San Antonio more than Austin, but it sounds like they're all worthwhile. So I guess hit all of them. And then while you're out all the way out there, it's like, well, if you can get it to Las Vegas, then let's say we're at Las Vegas. I'm definitely going to Sacramento. Tell you what, dude. Sacramento was amazing last time. So going to Sacramento, that's very far. That sucks. Oh, but then, well, what am I talking about? I'm passing right by some places, I guess. Like, where is yeah, I guess you hit San Fran now, don't you? The thing is, San Fran is a weird place to play, I find. But then how do you get your way up to Portland and thereby Seattle? I don't know, dude. Something like that. Maybe you do Eugene on the way. And then Seattle, dude. But then it's just coming back. And then you go, yeah, it's crazy getting back. TBH. You do Boise, Salt Lake City, Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis. Anyway, this was fun. Thanks for joining for that. I thought that might have been interesting to you all. Or I was curious to see about who was from these places. This, yeah. Yeah, the spreadsheets run my life in a good way. Love the sound of this. All right, guys and gals, and those in beyond the binary. Um, yeah, I thought it was that I could do that all day. Um, thank you all for attending this. Means a lot. If you this is your last chance at the vinyl before, I mean, I guess you could go back to the stream or grab that link for yourself. But hope that you loved it. Thank you for the support. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you around the internet. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great night's rest.